I hadn't really given any thought to how I would die. I thought maybe I would die alone when I was in my mid to late 60s, after my husband passed away, after my children had children. I thought that maybe I would be a grandmother to at least 5, and a great-grandmother to possibly 3 or 4, but I didn't think my death would happen in my late 20s because of a virus that people couldn't contain. The world has been introduced to a virus that is wiping out thousands of people per day. Death tolls were steadily rising as the virus plagued the land, destroying the civilization as I knew it. Restaurants, small businesses, schools, and even places of employment had to be shut down due to the safety protocol from the Center of Disease Control. The virus was deadly and fast spreading. The older the person was, the more likely they were to die by the hands of the plague, to call it a plague. I'm being nice. I had gotten a job working with a lot of people despite my better judgment, so I was endangering myself just by being in the public. However, I needed to work, which was the case for the rest of the country due to the economy being crappy. I put myself at risk for the sake of much-needed money, and the sad thing is, I had the unfortunate luck of catching the virus 9 months after it first appeared. The symptoms were like the common cold, but without maybe 1 or 2. The general feeling that it gave you was pretty crummy, considering that this was a brand new strain of virus that had been around for a very long time. I hadn't expected the cold symptoms that came along with the virus. I didn't think that I'd ever catch it, but I did. That was what initially triggered the depression, constantly not feeling well and losing all sense of taste and smell really does something to a person's psyche. Like the common cold, the virus had to run its course in the amount of 2 weeks, and I was much better than I had been, yet the depression was still there. I didn't want to get out of bed. Hell, I didn't want to do anything. I took time off work because I just couldn't handle being around people. Thinking that everything I did was wrong really sparked the panic attacks, and I couldn't take it anymore. I contemplated ending my life for months on end, thinking that things would be easier if I wasn't around, wondering if the world would be a better place without me in it, and the answer to that thought was, and still is, no. My family and friends would miss me if I were to take my own life, and that was when I had the much-needed mental breakdown. Eventually, I caved into the pleading of my husband's words and admitted that I needed help. I suffered with those suicidal idealizations for about 5 months before I did one thing that would help me the most. I sought out a therapist. My first therapy session was scary. I was nervous, anxiety-ridden, and, unsure of what to say. Everything was fine, though. My therapist had told me the basics of what would happen during our sessions. She was very polite and super professional, which made me feel relaxed. Soon, therapy would be my weekly thing to look forward to. I always had something to talk about during our sessions, and we worked at my pace, which meant that I didn't have to delve deep into my fucked-up childhood until I was ready. Therapy was my saving grace, something that I didn't realize would become an essential part of my everyday life. Months ticked by as I slowly began to mentally get better. Things were finally starting to look up for me. I was finally getting back on track with my life. That is until I caught the virus a second time. I received a call from my doctor's office 3 days ago with a positive diagnosis. I already knew that something was wrong when the common cold-like symptoms started and didn't ease up after a few days. The headaches started. And then came the chest pain, along with a nasty cough. The doctor prescribed me medication for the cough, but it didn't help. My immune system was too far gone for anything to help, so that's when I was hospitalized. I've been in this hospital bed for 2 weeks, and only recently have I started to hear the beeping. At first, I thought it was a heart monitor that I was hooked up to, yet all I received was a confused stare from the nurse when I asked her about it. The realization sank in. It's all in my head. The beeping was happening once every few days, but now it's once every few hours. This must be what they call my final notice. It's all coming to an end, and there's nothing that I can do about it. I probably wouldn't have contracted the virus a second time had people done what the Center of Disease Control told them to do. I wouldn't be in this hospital bed right now, struggling to type this out, had people wore masks in public places and didn't gather in large crowds. I'd be okay, had people just done what was suggested to them. I had gotten vaccinated for the virus, like thousands of other people. Alas, I still got the virus, and now, this is my final notice. Social media can be very unpredictable, especially regarding horror content. If this content gets removed, all new content will be simultaneously presented on various websites provided in the description to this video. Make sure to follow me in other digital spaces so that you never miss out on the terror. Also, if you like this video, make sure to leave a comment and hit the like button. It helps the channel a lot. If you're new to the channel and you enjoy what's here, consider hitting that subscribe button and the notification bell so that you never miss an upload. Writing is a dream of mine, and it's all of you that make that dream come true.